To make chocolate crispy cakes, what you need in a bowl is 50 grams of butter, 100 grams of chocolate, and if it's a block of chocolate you will need to break it up, and 3 tablespoons of golden syrup. And I've measured all of that in together, and then you have a choice. You can either put this into a microwave, which is what I'm going to do, for about 30 seconds at a time, and I will check it every 30 seconds because I'm using little tiny chocolate buttons. I don't want the chocolate to get too hot. If you burn your chocolate, unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do. So 30 seconds at a time, give it a little stir, see if it's melted, or you could stand this over a pan of boiling water, pan of steaming water, just to melt the chocolate. If you're going to put it into a saucepan and melt it on your cooker, be really careful. I would melt the syrup and the butter first on a really gentle heat, take that off the heat and then put your chocolate in so that you don't burn the chocolate. But we just need to melt this all together before we add the Rice Krispies or the cornflakes. Okay, this has only had 30 seconds in my microwave and you can see that it's already starting to melt. So I can see already that it's starting to melt and you just don't want to overheat it. So I'm just going to give it a stir. I can feel that the bowl is warm, but the butter has not completely melted. So it does depend on the power of your microwave. That is going. So do you know, I think I might just stir that and leave that as it is after the 30 seconds. So 30 seconds has been fine in my microwave, and I'm just going to keep stirring until the end of those last few little bits of butter have melted. Okay, I've just stirred that up and all the butter has melted. You can get it hotter than this. Obviously, the hotter it is, the longer it's going to take to set, and it does change colour a bit when it's hotter, but you can then add 100 grams of cornflakes. This is just 50 grams of cornflakes to start me off, and then when I've stirred these in, I'll add another 50 grams, but you need to try and make sure that all of your cornflakes are coated in that chocolatey mixture. And I find it a bit easier to do it in 2 halves, make sure that I can get right down to the bottom. So that's the first half, so I'm just going to weigh another 50 grams of cornflakes and then I can add those to the bowl. Okay, I have my second 50 grams of cornflakes, which I'm just going to stir in now, and hopefully I'll still be able to get all of the cornflakes completely covered in the chocolate mixture. And they need to be covered, otherwise they're just going to fall apart when you try to eat them. So make sure you go right down to the bottom of your bowl, because the chocolate mixture does sink to the bottom of your bowl, and you can do this with Rice Krispies if you'd rather use Rice Krispies than cornflakes. Doesn't make any difference. Coming up to Easter, I have seen people put this mixture over crushed shredded wheat because it makes a really nice nest effect. So crushed shredded wheat actually looks more like a nest than cornflakes or Rice Krispies, because it looks more like twigs. There we go. So all of the cornflakes are covered in that chocolate mixture, so that all that remains to be done is to spoon them into cake cases in a bun tray. So I've just got plain cake cases at home, but patterned ones look good, especially if it's a special occasion. Cornflake cakes don't tend to stay around very long in our house, so I'm not worried at the moment about doing any particular fancy cases. And then you can just scoop your mixture into there and leave it to set in the fridge. So just put a little bit of cornflake mix in each cake. It's up to you how high you want to pile them up, but just make sure that you have enough mixture to get or to fill 12 cake cases to start with. There we go. And I've managed to make 12 chocolate crispy cakes, 12 good sized chocolate crispy cakes in normal cake cases, not in muffin cases, just in normal baking cases. And those are going to go into the fridge to set. If it's coming up to Easter, of course you can decorate these, you can decorate them anyway. You can put chocolate buttons, chocolate eggs, whatever you like on the top. And you can make these with different coloured chocolate.